I believe that it's in a corrective state. It's in a correction. It's going through a phase of, because we had the Rona. I believe that we did have an inventory shortage, whether it was a loss of chips that we couldn't get to build new cars. Everybody was in a mode of, oh, I gotta hurry up and get it. They didn't know, nobody knew what was gonna happen, right? So people were buying cars, prices were going crazy. That never happened in history. So now I was always into cars. I even young, helped my dad. We built street rods. We'd work on cars. That wasn't his profession, but he was a motorhead. He liked cars, building hot rods, street rods. So that I naturally kind of went down that course, right? Being into cars. And then one of his friends, maybe I started working for him like when I was 14, 15. My parents would drop me off, and he was a general manager of a huge Oldsmobile store. Speaking of Oldsmobiles, and he had a bunch at his home, and I started kind of helping him work on cars, and just I think being around it all the time, but I think that was like my natural course. I liked it. Coming out of high school, I had a shop working on cars, cleaning cars, and it just I don't know if I was talking to you about it, but I realized that I would just sell some cars, buy some cars, sell some cars, and I realized I was making way more money doing that. So I decided that path. I was going down that path. I was going to flip cars, buy cars, sell cars, whatever. Obviously, it turned into everything from, shop side of it, to financing cars, selling cars, to having a dealer. So that's kind of, I was right out of the box into cars, working on cars, and, that was live, eat, breathe cars. Well, I wouldn't say just necessarily him, but being around all the car guys and car shops, yeah, I would say it's just the car. It's just nuts and bolts. It's just iron, right? It's a commodity, and you can't be scared. So like whether it's working on the cars, buying the car, like you can't be scared, right? You can't. I don't know if you're going down that road of working on it. There's nothing to be scared about. It's just nuts and bolts. Out of all those car guys being scared, it's actually super simple, and you got to get that through your head. I think that's probably the most important part that I've learned from. Obviously, when you don't do something, you're a little fearful, and it holds you back. Well, you can't. I mean, I remember being young, cutting the floors out of cars. Like, okay, it's a simple thing. They're just put together. It's not some magic that something happens, right? I mean, when they first had the assembly line, there's a bunch of guys just throwing the cars together, roll it down the nuts and bolts. That's all it is. Can't be scared. After I realized that I saw that there was quite a bit more money in that than physically spending your time working on, on other people's cars or whatever. You're better off working on your own, selling them. I wanted a dealer, have a dealer. And I went, there was an older guy that was, he actually had a body shop. So I kind of talked to him a little bit, and with him, I got a license at his location, and then just started flipping cars. That was actually one of the first car lots that I had. And then he wanted to basically get into leasing cars. So we started doing a very similar, it was actually a Ford Taurus at the time. We just kept doing Ford Tauruses, buying them, getting them ready, because he had a shop, and then just leasing them out. And it worked out really good. And then I had multiple car lots after that. I, wanted to just go on my own and start to do that. And they were traditional buy cars and put them on the car lots and sell them for straight retail. Fast forward a little bit to 2000, and when the market went south, and I had to make a choice. Like, you couldn't. The car traditional buying and selling cars, it's hard to make money. That's not super easy when you have a car lot and you got all this infrastructure and all these bills. It's not this gravy train of money, especially now. There was a big change. So when I was younger and we were talking about flipping a car, it was different because there wasn't any internet. You couldn't just go find the same Ford Taurus, using a common car. Didn't matter the car. If you had it and you had it for sale, it was easier because you couldn't just get online and be like, oh, well, there's 45 of these for sale within 50 miles and they're all the same color. And so that really leveled the playing field and brought down profit in the cars. So now you got all these car dealerships that have these cars. The internet obviously changed every business in facets we can't even think about, right? But buying and selling a traditional car in your car lot, there's so many other costs involved. And I'm not just talking about the infrastructure. I'm talking about like the internet and the marketing and the advertisement. Not just your building and taxes and people. And so that's the money in just buying and selling is for profit is basically disappeared. I mean, it's on minimal percentages. It used to be way different. So that led me to like, okay, if I'm going to stay in this, I'm going to have to do buy or repair, which was buying. I'm going to have to hold the note and finance the cars as the dealer if I wanted to make money. And you're really not making money on the car, the commodity. You're making money on the finance. I believe that it's in a corrective state. It's in a correction. It's going through a phase of, because we had the Rona. I believe that we did have an inventory shortage, whether it was a loss of chips that we couldn't get to build new cars. Everybody was in a mode of, oh, I gotta hurry up and get it. They didn't know, nobody knew what was going to happen, right? So people were buying cars, prices were going crazy. That never happened in history. So now, fast forward a couple of years, we've ramped up production. So now they've got chips or whatever was causing the delay of supply. We have a bunch of supply coming to market. It's already here. It's already sitting on lots, and there's a lot more coming. So I've read more that I have 5 million more cars coming to market, right? So the actual supply is coming way up. So the price, supply and demand, it's very simple. It's coming down. So the prices are coming down, new cars and definitely used cars. At the auction, prices are coming way down. There's a lot of no sales. There's a lot more inventory. There's a lot of repossessions. So people are not making their payments. So I think we're definitely going to go through a correction. It reminds me of back in 2008 when the financial crisis was. The used car market, or the car market in general did the same thing. It just stopped. People weren't buying cars. Prices dropped. That's going on right now. That's going to happen. It's here. It's probably going to be worse. In my opinion, the used car market is going to be worse than it was back then when it comes to prices and values dropping on your everyday drivers. Even on the ones that you're holding for investments, they're coming down too. It may bump maybe a little bit or down a little bit, but it's coming. It's not going up like it was when it comes to that. So the car market in general, I think people are holding on to their cars longer. I think they're fixing their cars. They're gonna figure out how to lower their daily driver expense, and I think it's good. I think it's a good correction. I think it's simple, and we need that. Back then, the sales kind of slowed way down. Basically, stopped. The auctions, they were ghost town. So to sell a car, you basically are giving it away. But I had a nice car lot, 20 cars on it, straight retail, nice, middle of anything from $5,000 to $25,000 units. And there was a lady that used to work down the street, and she would park close to the car lot and then walk by it every day. and she really liked this car that I had. And she kept, you know, like, I want that, but she couldn't afford it. She couldn't afford to just buy it, or even, you know, she's running her own business. She can't just walk in her bank and be like, hey, I want a car loan. So she says to me one day, you know, if you sold me that car and you financed it, at least you're getting paid and it's not on the car lot sitting there, right? And I went home that night and I thought to myself, she's right. Like, this is crazy. I could take all these cars and they could just be making money, cash flow, you know? Yeah, I'm not getting paid right away. Yes, it is a little long term, but it's sure, solid, and obviously you become the bank when you start to do it. So that was one of my first car deals that I financed, and her and probably 20 of her, you know, friends and family, they became customers. I mean, you got to start to do it, and that's kind of, it led to that. Otherwise, you were just paying bills and you know, giving away cars because they weren't selling. There's a lot of cars out there. I don't care what the statistics say online. I personally feel like there's 10 cars a person. I don't know how to explain that, but like, take away the kids and the people that aren't 16 and above, you have multiple cars right now. You know, you're not flipping them and selling. You know, I got a ton of cars laying around. Yeah, I get that I'm selling, but some of them I'm not. So there's a lot of cars out there, period. Drivers, I mean, there's a lot of used cars. So adding cars to the market, we're in another perfect time to buy or repair. I get that, you know, we're not talking about that right now, but I seen it then. I did it. It works. It's going to happen now, especially in the next 4 years, the way the economy is. It's a perfect time. Because I want to help people have a really great life, good lifestyle. I think a lot of people's mentality is still the 30 years and out, you know, 9 to 5. Yeah, they talk about side hustles and all that. And I know that we talked about this a little bit on the drive up here. You know how hard it is to go work somewhere all day and then go try to start something else? Yeah, I get it. You can probably do that for a short term, but you got to focus. That's all you need to do. So I want to help people have money. I mean, you don't have to be a, you know, billionaire. I want you to have fun, enjoy what you're doing. And this is a great way to do that. Cars are great. I mean, obviously they're in my blood, but there's a lot of different facets to it. Whether it's financing cars, you don't have to be in the car business. Banks don't have dealers licenses. You can finance cars. There's so many different avenues you can go, and I want to teach people, help people how to do it through the car business. But it's just more than that. It's about, you know, living good, healthy. Part of it is getting to yourself self-employed. I mean, I know that, like, yes, you can do this on the side. Yes, you can flip some cars at home, but there's way more to it, and you can have a lot more freedom.